Zhiyun sent me this cute little light to test, and honestly, I'm impressed. The Cinepeer line aims to bring pro-level lighting to everyday creators, without the pro-level price tag. And with 50 watts packed into something this compact, they've nailed a lot of it. But it's not all perfect. As a more affordable line, Cinepeer does come with compromises. Some of them annoying, and we'll talk about those too. I will leave an affiliate link in the description in case you decide this light is for you. We'll go into how I use this light in both my filmmaking and photography. But now let's start with what excites me the most. This is my first RGB light, and also the first I can control wirelessly with an app, and I've been playing with both. Setup is straightforward. Just install the ZY Vega app, create your group and add your light. From there, everything is remote. Intensity, color, it's all in the app. Now, here's something useful to know. Even though this is an RGB light, it works perfectly as a bicolor light too. You can go from 2700 Kelvin, which gives that cozy glow, to 32,000 Kelvin, which matches most warm white LEDs. Then we go into 5600 Kelvin, which is classic daylight, and all the way up to 6500, which has a slight blue tint. Great for simulating overcast daylight or cooler environments like an office or a hospital scene. The app also includes a CCT mode, which scans your environment and helps you match the light to the ambient color temp. Handy when working with mixed lighting. And once you switch to the color tab, that's when things get fun. You can paint your scene using the color wheel, or dial in exact values on the RGB tab. We'll play more with those later. My name is Jose Alcoy, and on this channel I share tips on documentary filmmaking and photography. Subscribe and get my free photo and video release form, perfect for getting permission to film or photograph people. The link is in the description. Let's start with the practical uses of this light when paired with different accessories. First up, the standard reflector combined with the mini dome diffuser. Honestly, it looks pretty cool, almost like a mini camera or a high-end gadget. Now, let's be honest, that little dome may look like it's softening the light, and it does help a bit, but in practice it's a small, relatively hard source of light. You can see it in the catch lights. Those sharp, defined reflections are the sign of a hard light, even if the dome gives it a more polished look. That said, it does have a place in a real setup. I'd use it, for instance, to lift shadows in the background. Next up is the Zhiyun Mini Octagonal Softbox. I love how portable it is, and honestly, with the light mounted, the whole setup looks kind of adorable. But, as with most compact modifiers, the trade-off is surface area. You really need to get close to your subject if you want to get any usable softness, like uncomfortably close if you want to get anything wider than a headshot. I do wish they had gone for a slightly larger design. It would have made a big difference without sacrificing much portability. That said, if you're traveling light and you need something more functional than the bare bulb or the dome, it's definitely a good option. I'm taking some pictures with it so you can see the look for yourself, how it wraps the light and what the shadows are doing. Following that, we have the Zhiyun Bowens mount adapter. Now we're talking. This is the one that really opens things up. It's a bit bulkier than I would have liked. Personally, I would have preferred a flat adapter without the built-in reflector, which may introduce reflections depending on your modifier. But overall, it's a solid piece of kit, and more importantly, it lets you use proper Bowens modifiers, like a 65cm softbox around 25 inches, or even a 90cm one around 35 inches. That changes matches everything in terms of light quality. It can be used as a studio light, as you see here, either on battery or plugged in. I usually place it in front of me at a 45-degree angle to get that Rembrandt lighting. You know, the triangle of light on the shadow side of the face. If you have a second light, even a small one, you can add it to massively improve the look of your shots with a rim light. I also took some pictures with it. I'm getting pretty solid results here. The light is softer, the fall off is smoother, and you're no longer stuck in your subject's face. I want to thank Zhiyun for sending me their RGB light, the first on my kit. It finally gives me the chance to experiment with setups like the teal and orange lighting that we see all the time in series and movies. It's not something I usually lean into, but I'm curious to see what I can pull off. For Teal, I dial 0 on the R channel and 128 on the G and V channels. The idea is to use Teal to mimic outdoor night light and warm tones to represent indoor artificial lighting. Let's take a look at the results. Now, with an RGB light, getting that teal tone is much easier, and I can still rely on my bicolor lights for my warm indoor tones. This light is a keeper. The light also includes 13 effects that for documentary filmmaking I would rarely use, but depending on what you're shooting they might come in handy, like a paparazzi effect that simulates camera flashes. I'm not going to make any statements. A lighting effect for a storm scene, or a flickering bulb that adds a mysterious tone to your videos. Just be aware that at this point in time the effects are only accessible through the lights menu, not the app. To wrap up, what I like about this light: the price, $149 for the bicolor version and $179 for the RGB one, and that's before any discounts. I think it's a great deal. If you want to get it, hurry up, there is a 20% discount that expires soon. When you buy a light, you are also buying into its ecosystem, the app to control the multiple lights, the Bowens adapter, and so on. And I think that Zhiyun is a solid choice in this regard. Battery life is solid and I have no complaints about fan noise. I also like that it doesn't come with a carrying case. I've already got a huge collection of cases I never use. I like to travel light, and a light like this is just going to be cramped into my backpack anyway. Now, what I didn't appreciate so much: the battery does not detach from the main body, and that feels like a missed opportunity. But to be fair, I'm only thinking that for two reasons. First, the battery looks bulky and doesn't match the body's dimensions. And second, the battery on the Molus X60 is detachable. To be honest, if I hadn't seen that, I wouldn't even expect it here. That said, if a detachable battery is important to you, the Molus Lite, which is the premium version of this one, is currently heavily discounted. Just keep in mind, battery life is actually a bit better on the Cinepeer. In a nutshell, 50 watts will not overpower the sun, but for indoor setups or golden hour shoots, it gets the job done. It makes fast setups and travel shoots way easier, and at this point that's all I want in a light. Small, portable, and ready to work. So I can definitely recommend the Cinepeer CX50 as an entry-level portable light. And I'm surprised by Zhiyun's quality. In any case, check out their offer through the affiliate link in the description. Hit that subscribe button for more content on lighting equipment for filmmaking and environmental portrait photography. And watch this video to find out how I transformed my living room into a YouTube studio.